Hey friends, welcome back to Homestead on a Prayer. It is a beautiful day outside today. It feels like fall and the weather is just perfect. Now, even though it's starting to feel like fall, it's still summer. We've still got summer crops coming in. And tonight I wanted to make one of our favorite summer treats with fresh summer harvest. It's so easy, it almost feels silly to make a video about this because it's such an easy recipe. But I know sometimes, if you're anything like me, sometimes it's nice to see something visually rather than just hear the explanation of it. So this is just going to be a really quick video today. I'm going to show you a super easy and delicious treat that we're going to make to go with our dinner. We're going to start out by harvesting some jalapenos. I have 2 bowls here because I have 2 types of jalapenos, one of which is quite a bit spicier than the other. Now I know it's kind of bright, the sun's shining right on me. It's not the ideal time of day to shoot a video, but it is the ideal time of day to cook dinner, and I didn't get to harvesting earlier today. I'm going to put the milder jalapenos in this little bowl here and the spicier ones here. So let's go ahead and get harvesting and then come back in my kitchen with me, and I'm going to show you guys how we make bacon wrapped jalapeno poppers. So good. Now, I don't know if you guys can see in here, this is not even a jalapeno. This is actually a lunchbox pepper. Oh, and it looks like someone's been eating on that. I'm gonna see if I cut out this part and still use this. One of the main reasons I actually like to grow these peppers is when I make these bacon wrapped jalapeno poppers. I make a few of them with these lunchbox peppers instead because that gives a little bit of a different flavor. It's a little bit sweeter, and it's a great alternative for people who don't like a lot of spice. And just in case you didn't catch that in the background, my suspected rooster is a confirmed rooster now, and I think he likes the idea of jalapeno poppers too. So as far as I saw, this is my only lunchbox pepper that's ripe. I'm gonna go ahead and put this in the bowl with the sweet peppers, or the milder jalapenos, as I should say. And we're gonna go ahead and harvest the rest of them. So I really just grabbed a couple jalapenos. These milder ones are early jalapenos, and I find these don't really have a lot of heat, at least in my area. I know if you live somewhere with a hotter climate, they say that that will make your peppers, your hot peppers, a little bit hotter. I find here in Connecticut, my early jalapenos don't really get that hot at all. It almost tastes like a bell pepper with just a little hint of heat, which is honestly more my kind of speed anyway. So I just harvested a couple of those. I got 3 of these jalapenos plus the lunchbox pepper. Each of these peppers will make 2 poppers, and really only 3 of us in my family will eat these. So I'm just gonna harvest a couple of the spicier ones. Those will mostly be for my husband. My daughter and I will enjoy the milder ones. So I'm also growing Craig's Grande jalapenos, which I have found are a little bit spicier than the early jalapenos. So let's grab a couple of those. So I'm gonna grab a couple of these Craig's Grande jalapenos too. You can see these are a little bit darker. I think they're supposed to be a little bit larger, although these are actually about the same size as the others. I think maybe 3 of those would be good. And I'm actually going to go back and grab a couple more of the mild ones because my daughter's having a couple friends over, so we'll make a few extra treats for them too. So welcome to my messy kitchen. I'm in the middle of making dinner, so I got kind of a little bit going on here, a little bit going on there. We've got our peppers. This one's actually a bell pepper. I picked that to go with dinner, so we'll put that out to the side. Now the first thing I'm going to do with all these jalapenos is I'm just going to slice the top off. I'm going to cut them in half, and then I'm going to go ahead and basically pull out the seeds and the ribs just to make some space for stuffing. Now when I cook them, you definitely don't have to use this kind of setup. I just like to because it helps the grease drip down. But I use a cookie sheet I use a silicone baking mat. You could use parchment paper or aluminum foil or anything like that just to catch the drippings. And then I like to use a little, I think this is technically a cooling rack, but it is oven safe. So I just like to put it above it. That allows the air to circulate all around the peppers, and it also allows the bacon grease to drip below so it's not sitting in the bacon drippings. Now, if you don't have that, you can cook it just right on the sheet. That's completely fine too. I just like to do it this way. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to get all of my peppers cut in half and de-seeded. I'm gonna line them all up on here. I'm going to make sure to keep my milder peppers separated from the spicier peppers. I'll just line them up here in preparation for stuffing. So I've got all my sweet peppers lined up. This pepper ended up being completely fine inside. I just cut out that one part that had that bug bite in it and kind of started to not look so good, so I cut that part out. These are the spicier ones, so I'm going to cut the top off this, and let's see exactly how spicy this is. Not that spicy, actually. My husband's gonna be a little disappointed with that. So this has not been the hottest summer, and it has been a pretty wet summer. Now, if you know the key to growing spicy jalapenos, I've heard that it's heat, I've heard that it's a dry summer. I have no idea what the actual truth is. So either way, it seems like it was not the conditions that we had this year. I have noticed that my jalapeno pepper plants in general have not been doing as well as they did the last couple years. Now, the plants look healthy, but they have quite a few fewer peppers than normal. So we're going to enjoy the ones we have and make the best of them. So I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of these cut up and ready, and then I'll show you what I stuffed them with. So our peppers are all lined up and ready. Now I'm going to make the filling, which is so easy. 2 ingredients. We've got cream cheese and we've got cheddar cheese. So I've just been letting this cream cheese sit out and soften a little bit. It's probably not quite room temperature. Room temperature would be ideal. But if it's not soft enough, I'll just pop it in the microwave for a couple seconds. So I'm just going to scoop some of this into the bowl, and I'm going to mix some cheddar cheese into it. The proportions are really up to you. I prefer more cream cheese and just a little bit of cheddar, but it's completely up to you how you prefer yours to be. So I'm going to start by putting in, we'll say maybe half this block of cream cheese, and then I can always add more if that doesn't seem like quite enough. So let's see. That looks pretty good. You basically just want your cream cheese to be soft enough that you can mix it together with the cheddar and then scoop it into the jalapenos. And I will say those peppers overall were not hot, but there's at least one in there that has a little bit of heat because I've got a little bit of heat going on. I think I touched my lip or something after I cut these up, and I can definitely feel it. So there'll be at least 1 or 2 in there that hopefully my husband will be happy with. So I just mix it up till it basically looked like this. You can see. I'm just going to go ahead and scoop it into our peppers, and then we are going to wrap these up with bacon. So you can fill these pretty much however full you want them to be. I like to fill them about even with the top, maybe slightly mounded a little bit. So let's just go ahead and get these filled. So the half block of cream cheese did about this many. I'm going to have to mix up a little more filling for the rest. But I will say, after I finish filling these, I licked the cream cheese off my finger. I did wash my hands again, so my hands will be clean when I touch these. And there was definitely some heat on there. So there is a spicy pepper or 2 hiding in this bunch. So let's go ahead and get some more filling mixed up and get these all filled. So now we're going to go ahead and take these peppers and we're going to wrap each one of them in a half slice of bacon. I have 18 pepper halves there, so I've got 9 slices of bacon. I'm just going to cut these in half. Now, when it comes to wrapping the peppers, if you prefer to use toothpicks to keep the bacon in place, you could certainly do that. I prefer to just wrap it so that the ends of the bacon are underneath. You know, actually, I'm going to redo that. I want it to be a little bit diagonal so that more of the pepper is covered. So I like to just place the ends of the bacon on the bottom so that the pepper holds the bacon in place while it cooks. But as I said, if you prefer to use a toothpick to hold it in place instead, that's completely fine. Keep in mind that, of course, as it cooks, the bacon's going to shrink a little bit. So just make sure that you have it wrapped on there the best you can. And honestly, if it comes off a little bit, it's not the end of the world. It's going to taste just as good. So while you're wrapping your peppers, or probably even a little before that would be ideal, you do want to go ahead and get your oven preheated to 400 degrees. So as you can see, our jalapeno poppers are all wrapped. These are ready to go in the oven. So once our oven finishes preheating to 400 degrees, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pop these in the oven for about half an hour. Now the exact time is going to depend on your oven. It's also going to depend on your preference for how crispy you want your bacon, how well done you want your peppers. So I'm probably going to check on mine starting about 20 minutes in, and I'm guessing it'll take about a half hour, but I may let them go a little bit longer than that just if my bacon isn't as crispy as I like. So I'm going to meet you back here when these are done, and we are going to try one. I'm going to let you know how they are. So I pulled these out of the oven. These are done. You can see the bacon's crispy. The cheese is just starting to brown a little bit. These look perfect. They stayed in the oven for a little over half an hour. I want to say probably about 32 minutes. So as I said, that's going to how long you cook it is really going to depend on your oven and your personal preference. Now, as I said, most of these are on the milder side. We do have a couple spicier ones. If you wanted something spicier, you could definitely substitute another pepper, maybe serrano or something like that to give it a little more kick. Or you could substitute something completely sweet if you don't want heat at all. Either way, these are completely delicious. I'm gonna let these cool a little bit and I'm gonna give them a try. All right, so we're gonna test these jalapenos. Dan's got the spicy ones. So we'll see how spicy they actually are. Let's try it. These are good. So
it's good, but it's not really spicy.
Yeah. Some of them are spicy though, so I'm not sure which ones. It's kind of gonna be like...
It's like Russian roulette.
Yeah. So mine are not that spicy, which I knew they wouldn't be, but they're really good, so definitely make these. So thank you so much for hanging out with me and making our bacon-wrapped jalapeno poppers. I know, like I said, it's so easy. It almost feels silly to make a video of it because it's just so easy, but it is really delicious. It's a great way to use your garden jalapenos. So I hope if you do have fresh jalapenos, I hope you give it a try. And if you don't have garden jalapenos, it would be great with jalapenos from the farmer's market or even the grocery store too. Either way, it's a great simple appetizer, delicious and so easy. So thank you guys so much for joining me today. I hope you're having a great day and I can't wait to see you soon. I'll see you next time.